Harmonies is a neat and puzzly game that I discovered on Board Game Arena. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to play and show you a full game here on Legendary Tactics. Harmonies is a neat game that I've discovered on Board Game Arena. It plays a little bit like Cascadia, I guess, and a little bit like Azul. So we've just chosen, I believe it's called the Spirit card, and you choose from the selection of these, I don't know what to call them, tiles exactly, and you place them on your board, which has a hex grid. What you're trying to do is just simply to match the patterns that are on the card. You can see in this one I'm looking for the two greens and then building a little tree where I put wood and then a green on top. And at the top, you've got a selection of cards. In the solo game, you can choose one of those to add to your hand. If you don't choose one, you have to discard one, as I did there. And that's basically how you play. You're just taking one selection of those three tiles, grabbing a card if you like one, if not you discard. And the only other thing is the cards each have cubes on them. That's a number of times that card can score. And every time you place a cube onto the board, it's going to give you more points. And you can see on the image where the cube needs to be placed. And once that little cube is placed on top of the token, you can't use that token for anything else. It can't be used in another arrangement. So you can see I took the one there, putting what they call the building, which is two stacks there, and I was able to complete two of those. So I placed two cubes, and they go on the end green one there, if you can see. That was a move I just kind of put together. You kind of look at what's available, and you see which ones you think you can complete. There's some other scoring, which is at the top right of the screen, where if you can get chains of fields, which are the yellows, or building trees all in a row, or having the longest river, that kind of thing, you can get additional points as well. But that's the basic gist of the game. You can see I'm building my tree here, the two woods and the green, and I put the cube on there, and that takes my spirit card essentially out of the game and frees up a spot on my display there. And essentially you want to get through and score as many of these cards as you can. The game ends in the solo game when you have two places left on your board. So there's some things you can stack. As you can see, there's some you can build a tree, you can stack buildings and that sort of thing. Other ones you can't stack, for example, rivers, the blues. Those ones cannot stack. Fields cannot stack. So you can only stack certain ones. And so you have to kind of, again, plan ahead and say, okay, how am I going to score these cards? Because it's not only just scoring them once. That gives you some points. But if you look at my card in my display on the right, I've got field, stone, and I've kind of placed my field in a bit of an awkward spot. So I'm trying to find other ways to kind of angle that, and I don't think I can actually do it in this case, but you want to try and set up combinations where you're able to score these cards multiple times. I'm also looking to score that card on the left. I'm going to build a building and maybe get a couple of greens down and score that card and get it out of the display. And in this game, I don't claim to be an expert at this game. It requires a lot of optimization, but you can see there I was able to score it on kind of both ends. I covered up both of my stones, and that was pretty efficient use of the tokens, I believe. Again, I'm no expert, but this is a game which requires a lot of optimization, some spatial arrangements. You're trying to balance the tokens that you have available with the board space that you have and the cards that are available. And as such, it's a very nice, peaceful puzzle, and it's quite enjoyable. Solitaire, I can really recommend it. I've been playing a bunch of it lately, and as I said, I don't claim to be an expert, but I think I've gotten a reasonably good handle on how to play and how to make things work, but it still sometimes requires a bit of thinking through. You can see there's opportunities there in the top row. There's that one with the building and putting some river ones down. I would need to score 4 of those, which is a bit tricky given the space that I have, but might be worth some points. There's also the one on the left, which has a double stone with 2 rivers around it. That one only needs to be scored twice before that card clears out. So I'm just trying to figure out what's the best way that I can make this work. The game does have a little bit of luck sometimes. It feels that they randomize those pools of 3 that you draw from. You only choose one, and then everything refreshes and randomizes again. So you can't plan beyond what you have to work with. And sometimes you just don't get enough of the tile that you need. You can see I'm struggling to get the red building tiles right now. And so it's something that you just kind of have to work around. There's no easy way to do it. It's all about, again, optimizing the opportunities you have and the board space you have. But outside of that little bit of luck, I think that the puzzle itself plays out very well. And I'm going to be going for this one, as you can see, because I've got my first stone down and a river, and I've got some opportunities in the draw pools. I don't know what to call those exactly. I learned on the Board Game Arena tutorial, so I didn't have a chance to sort of read the rules and learn the terminology, but I'm looking at the different options, and I want to complete the stone things here. Okay, get my middle card lined up. I just need one more red, and then I'm able to score that. And I've only got a handful of spaces left, so realistically the game might be over in the next turn depending on how things stack. So I want to make sure that I'm not making the most of what I have. And I see that there's, again, you're trying to balance the priorities. I ended up taking this one here. I'm going to finish my combo with that one, clear that card out. And I've got 3 more scoring opportunities with the cards that I have. So we'll see what we can make of them. And in retrospect, I think I should have taken maybe the bottom pile, but the bottom grouping there of 3. But this is fine. I can make this work. And I'm going to be setting up a little bit of scoring. I'm actually looking at a symmetrical formation for the card on the left. You can see I've got the 2 stone, and I'm going to have the 2 river. I'm hoping to get 2 stone in that empty space beside the red buildings there, as long as I can draw stone. But I haven't been able to do that, so I have to watch it. I want to make sure to extend the game out a little bit if I can. I'm going to be able to complete the field, but the risk is that I'm not going to be able to pull off that symmetrical thing as I was hoping to do. So I've got this one here. I've got to place one last one. Unfortunately, rivers do not stack. I'm not going to be able to complete that structure that I was hoping for and finish off that last card. So this will be the end of the game, and they will have a sort of a final scoring situation. I'm going to end up with 83 points. This is the final situation. So anyway, I really like this game. I think you should check it out if you have the chance. It's called Harmonies, and we'll see you here next time on Legendary Tactics.